What do you think of the liberal trend in nutrition, the push towards wokeness? Like, why is that there, and how do you feel about it?
Are you talking about health at every size?
That's one of many. Yeah, I mean, I just think that even medicine as a whole is becoming a lot more focused that way. Like even in medical schools, our friend Garrett was telling me, all of the things that he had to do, like talking about their pronouns in school and all the various things that I didn't really have to deal with, but now is just becoming so evident in medicine and big time in nutrition because of like the health at every size. And the fact that a doctor can't even tell a patient that they're overweight and should lose weight. Like, what is your thought on that? Being a very fit person and then also having to have their toe dip into that world too. Is it hard?
Well, I think health at every size, and again, like I'm educated on this and had to practice, from a HAES aligned point of view. I think health at every size really looks at the fact that a lot of people who lose weight or large amounts of weight often almost always gain it back. So I think they really amass any research that shows dieting is causing more harm than good. So I think that's where they're coming from. I don't really know how to answer your question. You're asking me, what do I think about it?
How does it feel to be a part of that when, like, if somebody were to look at you, they would say this is a very fit person who cares a lot about their physique and works out a lot. Yet on the other side of, like, in the medical space and nutrition space, it's not even okay to really concern yourself with the way that you look. You might even be demonized to look the way that you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that. It doesn't feel good. I don't know. I honestly don't know how to answer your question. I see their point and their side of things. I don't think that it's like, it's not condoning like be overweight or obese. It's not supporting that or encouraging it. Now I think that there are aspects of society that are doing that, right? They're glorifying being in a larger body. But I don't think that's what health at every size is actually aiming to do. I think health at every size is encouraging, obviously, body acceptance and like more of like the intuitive eating thing. And I think just with anything, you have the extremes. So you have, the extremely liberal part of society that are going to take that way on one end of things. And I don't think that was what it was actually meant to be.
Yeah, makes sense. I think with everything, there's always a lot of nuance.
Yeah.
And the issue is that it's not fully disclosed. And the main thing is you hear is you can be healthy at every size. And that just seems completely absurd. I think that verbiage is highly inaccurate. You cannot be healthy at every size. I think that's well documented in the literature that obesity in and of itself is an inflammatory condition. Obesity is that is a disease, because of the negative ramifications. So I understand being beautiful at every size, accepting every size, finding your own health at every size. And, like we had just watched that reel of that lady who ran a marathon and she's classified as obese. So yes, she's probably in her own way healthy. Could she be healthier? Sure, because I could be healthier. So I think that it kind of is portrayed as like you can hit optimal health at any size, which I don't think is true because I don't think anybody can be, perfectly healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think it's looking at, okay, so you said that research shows that obesity is not healthy. I think health at every size looks at the behaviors, what led to the obesity. So it's obviously the overconsumption of food, inactivity, probably not sleeping enough, poor stress management. So all of these things that can be changed or modified led to the obesity. So health at every size, rather than saying the obesity is the problem, let's lose weight, it's saying, oh, you're not really being very active. You're sitting at a desk all day. Could we get up and move around a little bit more? Could we maybe add in a 30-minute walk every day? Oh, you're eating McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe we could do a meal at home. So it's like more focusing on what behaviors can we change rather than saying obesity is the problem, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously obesity is the problem, but the obesity didn't just occur.
But how can anyone tease that out of health at every size?
No one can, right? That's the problem. Is, like you said, there's a lot of nuance.
Yeah, that's an absurd title for, I mean, this is the thing that always bothers me with all the liberal movements is at the end of the day, they're saying the exact same thing that everybody else is, but they've just given it a different term.
Yeah.
Like there's no dietitian or nutritionist that is, focused on health that would ever tell you that all we're going to focus on is that this person's fat, tell them they're fat and they need to not be fat. No, I mean, there's entire books dating back decades that say we need to fix the habits of an individual. We talked about the whole time, that you need to fix the habits. And that's essentially what you're saying is that they're not going to tell them that obesity is a problem. They're going to work on fixing their habits and their lifestyle and the things that led to it. Well, sure, duh. So why did there need to be a whole new movement with this very confusing name on top of it that now makes people like myself, like doctors, feel like we can't even bring up weight? You tiptoe around it because you're going to offend somebody and they think that they're perfectly fine eating more and intuitively eating their way to obesity because that can be healthy.